Hi, this is your installation of Ask a Leatherneck. Today we have Paul. He's a graduate assistant in the Office of Equal Opportunity and Access. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Tammy Lee.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your office entails?
Yes, my name is Paul Frost. I use he, him, his pronouns. And like Tammy Lee said, I am the graduate assistant for the Office of Equal Opportunity and Access. So a little bit about what my office does is we support students through different processes of the university, particularly with Title IX, which is a federal regulation that is placed on institutions who receive federal funding from the government. And then we also take care of cases that deal with Title VI and Title VII, which is discrimination and things like that. And so our office also is where other offices on campus, like the Student Development and Success Center, will send students who need the services from our office. And then we also do referrals to different support networks on campus and in the Macomb and regional area of Western Illinois.
So what does a service look like for a student? Why would someone access your office?
Right, someone would access our office so that they could go through either the formal or the informal process for Title IX, Title VI, or Title VII investigations. And so our office conducts all the investigations, whether they're formal or informal. An informal process looks a little bit different than a formal one. Informal, there's just a lot of more communication between two members of our office and then the other parties involved in the case. And then we write up like a contract kind of thing of what needs to be resolved from the incident that occurred. And then we have a formal process where we actually do an investigation. We talk to all parties involved. And then after we complete our investigation, we submit a final report to the parties involved. And once they approve of the report, it becomes formal, and then it goes to the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities, where they will decide sanctions or decide the finding of the case that our office investigates.
So can you tell us a little bit about what an investigation would range from like the high to the low level, and then also talk to what confidentiality looks like in your office?
Right, so an investigation can look different between a student and student, between a student and a faculty member, or a student and a staff member. It really just depends on the case, the severity of the case, and then the number of people involved. So typically we would talk to a complainant, who is the person who is making the complaint about the mistreatment. And then after we talk to them and we figure out if they want to do a formal investigation or an informal investigation, we will then talk to the respondent, who is the person that treated them poorly or violated a policy on our campus. And so once we talk to the complainant, we talk to the respondent. We also allow them to give us a list of witnesses that we could also talk to. And after talking to those witnesses, sometimes we also work with OPS, which is the Office of Public Safety. And if there's police reports that were filed, we gather those police reports, we review them, we insert those into our formal investigation and reports. Sometimes we have to go to the Macomb Police Department if police reports were filed there, and we'll get that police report pulled and review that, review all the information necessary. A lot of times, some of our investigations look like looking at email threads, text messages, Snapchat threads, just trying to figure out all the information and do all the evidence gathering. And then we put it together in a formal report. And then a lower level or a less intensive investigation could look like a formal investigation. And that is where we would talk to the complainant. We would find out what they are wanting out of this complaint, like what is their resolution that they're asking for. And then we would go to the respondent, hear their side, see if they agree to an informal an informal complaint. And then we would say, okay, well, the complainant is wanting this from you to resolve this issue. Is this something you're okay with? And if both parties agree to that, then we will type up that document that this is the terms of agreement of what needs to be done in order for this issue to be resolved. And we get both of the parties to sign it, and then the actions are carried out by the respondent. And then if there's some that the complainant needs to do as well, those are completed as well. And then it just is handled within our office.
So what would you tell a student that they think that an incident happened and they don't believe that it's really a big deal, or, I really don't want to talk about it, or I'm afraid someone won't believe me? What would your suggestion be?
Right. My suggestion would be to find someone on campus to talk about it with. So you can always go to the Student Development and Success Center and talk to the employees there. You can always go to the University Counseling Center. Those people are confidential advisors, so they won't have to disclose any information unless it falls under certain standards that then they have to legally by law. But you can always go to them. You can also go to WIRC Victim Services, which there's an office in downtown Macomb. That is a free 24/7 hotline. You can talk to them and be able to talk about your situation and get guidance before you decide if you want to move it forward or not. And then you can always fill out a care report. So care reports can be found on our website. And that issues a formal report that'll notify my office if it needs to be heard or needs to be handled within my office. It'll notify us, or it'll notify the appropriate office if it doesn't fall within mine. But the important thing to remember is that there are a lot of people on this campus that are here to support you and make your journey as a Leatherneck as successful as possible, and that's what we want to do. So if something happens, we hope that you would report it and feel comfortable enough to come and talk to us so that we can support you. And if you see something, say something.
Great. And lastly, you're speaking of investigations. Are people allowed to bring someone to support them or a friend with them? I know sometimes these are scary situations, or people may be a little apprehensive. So what is your advice to them on that?
Right. Thank you for that question. So it is 100% okay for you to bring a support person. We actually encourage it, and normally we will mention that in each formal communication that we make with a complainant or a respondent. It's no surprise that these situations are pretty stressful for our students, and we always want to make sure that you're feeling the most comfortable in these meetings and in these interviews that we're having with our students. So a support person is always recommended and thought out as a good idea.
Paul, thank you so much for meeting with us today. Can you please tell us how people can find you on social media and give us any last thoughts you may have?
Yes, so you can find the Office of Equal Opportunity and Access on Twitter, which is at WIU_EOA_office. And then you can also find us on Facebook, by searching WIU Office of Equal Opportunity and Access. And then if you want to find our website, you just go to wiu.edu, and then you can type in EOA in the search bar, and you will be able to find our office there.
Great. Thank you so much, Paul, for meeting with us today. This is your installation of Ask a Leatherneck, and it's always great to be a Leatherneck. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Tammy Lee.